Reaper is a hero that gets a lot of play in Overwatch. He has dual shotguns, lots of mobility, and lots of damage. He's very scary for a number of reasons, and he's one of my favorite heroes to play at the moment. So this is a quick gameplay of me on Reaper, and I'm going to talk about the reasons why I think he's strong. First of all, we have to speak about his passive, which is called the Reaping. Basically, anytime you kill someone, they drop a little life orb that restores health. This is obviously important because it gives you natural sustain and eliminates your necessity to either be by a healer or have to constantly seek out health packs. And because Reaper is a hero that relies so heavily on being behind enemy lines and flanking and getting behind people and kind of being irritating and a nuisance, this is very crucial because it means that you don't have to constantly infiltrate enemy lines and then retreat, which oftentimes opens you up to being shot in the back and opens you up to vulnerabilities. One of the other things that I really like about Reaper is his Wraith form, which is basically like a moving stasis ability. It's the one that's bound to shift. Anytime you get in a bad gunfight, boom, Wraith form. You don't take any damage, you just kind of glide away. And oftentimes you can glide away to safety, glide to your teammates, or glide to a health pack. It's an incredibly useful ability, and it allows you to play very aggressive, assassinate someone who's very valuable to the enemy team, like Mercy or Soldier 76, and then you hit the shift key and you simply walk away. A little tip I'd like to throw in is I have that ability, Wraith form, alternatively hotkeyed to a mouse button, just a little mouse button on the side of my mouse, because whenever I'm strafing around, sometimes it's hard to hit A and shift at the same time, or if I'm backpedaling with shift and A, or excuse me, A and S, sometimes it can be hard to hit shift. So you can set alternates where it's still shift and it's also the mouse button, and that's how I have it. I think Reaper's Shadow Step is a very interesting ability, and it's one of the handful of abilities in the game that allows you to get up on these rooftops, these crazy advantageous positions that you see on some maps, which I think is really cool that Blizzard did that. They didn't make it where every single rooftop was slippery and you couldn't get on top of. So Shadow Step is very strong, not only because it allows you to get to these power positions, but it also allows you to gap close on your opponents extremely effectively. Hey, calm down. One thing that's really strong about Shadow Step is how you can use it to counter Bastion. You can gap close onto Bastion and completely abuse his immobility, and you saw me do this a couple of times early on in the gameplay. And I think that's very valuable because Bastion is incredibly powerful, especially when you're playing with teams of exclusively random teammates. If you don't have any pre-made friends online, it can be a rough experience playing against a Bastion who becomes entrenched. Death Blossom is one of my favorite things about Reaper. It's his high-powered, big gun ultimate ability that allows him to mow down multiple people at once. This is very, very useful for clearing out objectives, both offensively and defensively. And you always see these play of the games. It's called the Death Blossom. He also combos very, very well with Zarya, who can use her shield on top of Reaper whenever he uses his ultimate ability, allowing for Reaper to do unstoppable amounts of carnage to the other team. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and leave a like and a comment.